Welcome to Community Insight. I am your host, Reverend Dr. Rodney Coles, and we're here to bring information to the community to help them, the resources out here, and to update the community on some of the programs and things that they can work with. Today, we are here with a good friend of mine, a special guest today, Miss Karen Harrison, and she is with the Pitt County School. And let me say before I bring her on, she has been a person, she's a go-getter, get it done, helping people go out of the way. You know, she remind me of that good Samaritan that don't be like the Levite and the high priest cross on the other side. She's that type of person. She's going to help you after hours, call on her cell phone. Well, I'm just glad to have her here with me on this broadcast, and I'm going to welcome now Miss Karen Harrison. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you so much, Pastor Coles. I feel like it's easy to do when I have a good partner in the community like you. So thank you for those words, but I think you are way too kind. But certainly want to just continue to partner with you because I feel like we've been able to do some good things throughout this really difficult time.
And I truly thank you. There's so many great things you have done, Ms. Harrison. There's a lot of folks that, I'm just going to be truthfully, there's a lot of folks talk about doing work and service. And there's some people, they may be working because just to pay the bill, but you go more beyond the core duty. You have a staff of people as you, Cassandra Campbell, and you got a great staff. I just want to commend you for that. And y'all make it easy for me. I'm going to tell you that because some places I got to work. I'm actually got to lift up. My wife jumps on me. I know you picked up a box today. I know, and I told you don't be doing that. But you have a great staff, and that means that's good leadership. So thank you for being a good leader because good leadership make things work. We want to talk a little bit today about the school. I know there's so much is happening with this pandemic and so much concern. Just share with us on your heart some of the things that we need to know today.
Well, obviously, we are, in the midst of trying to do our best to get our students back in the building, our staff back in the building. Staff came back today, having our teachers and all our staff back in the building beginning today. And our hope is that students whose parents feel safe for them to return are going to start returning with us next Monday. We already had 2 schools open up. Both of our early colleges opened up last week on Thursday. And things have gone well there. So we've been really working hard at what it will look like for students that want to return to the building in terms of safety and resources, but also for those students that want to stay home. And then even for our students that do return, due to the current regulations from the governor, they can only return at a 50% reduced capacity. And so they will be on home 1 week and in school 1 week, but a key for our families to know and our community to know is that those home weeks are work weeks. It's very different than the spring. And so everyone's going to have a high degree of rigor and getting work done. And so our staff has worked real hard over the summer, and they will continue to work hard throughout this time.
And I want to share because, my wife, she's really she's on your website. She's on your app. My wife, I didn't know what that thing called. I might say the thing wrong. Jodo or Judo.
Dojo, right.
I tell you, my wife is like a drill sergeant. I'm telling you when it comes to the children, and I said, I thank God. I just hide in the room because I don't want my daughters, anyone to say anything to me. Look for my defense. I just leave it alone. And the resources you guys have out there, you got the Facebook information. She showed the commercial. She's online. I don't know anything. I'm gonna tell you, I'm like a donut here, but she's like the knife.
So we do feel the information is out there. Jennifer Johnson, our public information officer, has done a fabulous job of getting information out. As you said, there's FAQs, there's videos that show you about the cleaning, videos that show you about the education, videos that show you about our nurses. So she has everything, exceptional children. All of those videos are on our website. They're on our Facebook page, as you mentioned. We've also been fortunate to partner with Parents for Public Schools to do some other follow-up, additional FAQs with the same staff. And so they're another great resource. Check out their social media. So the information is out there, But that doesn't mean that people don't still have questions. So I would first direct you to see if your questions can be answered then. Start with your school, and then if not, call myself or Ms. Johnson, and we'll get you either the information or hooked up to who can provide you that information of any questions you may still have.
And I think people are always going to have questions. They questions like say, well, is the school safe?
Right.
And I think a lot of times we would hear from other states and we try to act like that's us. I mean, we're
Right.
not. I mean, what's happening in Georgia got nothing to do with North Carolina,
Correct.
and what we're doing here. And I said, everything you have put in place, video. My wife, I have to tell you, she makes me sit down and say, listen, sit down and watch this.
Right,
And I
right.
watch the video, and these tools and things you have. And so there might be some say, well, I'm not sure that the school are safe. And I think at some
Right.
time, maybe at the beginning, they're looking at, well, let's still go to the first phase.
Right.
And the way you made it easy for you, where it's easy to, if you want to, you go 1 week, your home level week, and y'all been working with this all summer long.
Right.
And I must also include the Boys and Girls Club. They've been working with all
Right.
along summer long. Because I'm going to share, there's some people, and they probably agree with me now. We need our children in school.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
listen. I don't know your math.
Right.
I'm telling you, my daughter gave her math. I don't know what kind of math they doing.
Right.
I knew algebra, geometry. That's what I went to. But
Right.
the math and the things you're doing, we are not equipped for that. I'm
Right,
sorry.
Right. And then
I
the
admit it.
technology on top of it. Our children can navigate that technology pretty easy. And so, like you, I'm sending my children back. We all have concerns. But also, if parents don't feel comfortable yet, they do have that virtual option where they can stay completely 100% remote.
And I want to share the things you also with this, like when the pandemic took place,
Right.
and y'all was making sure that these children got Chromebooks.
Right.
Y'all connected with Sutton Link, and y'all got the Greenville Housing Authority. The Housing Authority is actually now putting an internet.
Right.
I mean, Wayman's William, he's out there. He's gonna make it happen.
That's right.
He's gonna
That's
make it
right.
happen.
I'll just say, again, our leaders, Dr. Lassiter, our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum Instruction, and his team worked hard to get resources out to students and families, even when we weren't required by the state to do so. So again, that remote learning in the spring is going to look very different than our learning in the fall. Learning in the fall is going to be required daily, every day, checking behind you, graded. But again, we wanted our students to still have an opportunity for education, and we did the best we could. A big concern for our board, and one of the reasons that they did decide that we would try the Plan B and we will implement that to the best of our ability, is because there were approximately 30% of students that we were not able to reach, even though we gave out the Chromebooks, even though we worked with Sutton Link. And so they did not want that to continue to happen. They're very concerned about the equity issues that causes. And so this is why we are offering the options that we are. But again, that team worked really hard. We were pretty proud of that. I would say we would like to brag that we did some stuff that others then contacted and started doing after us. And again, it wasn't perfect, but we did the best we can. Our teachers worked so hard and tirelessly to make sure that they could reach out to students. And again, even though there may be fear and apprehension, they're excited to see faces walk in the door on Monday.
I would say that y'all have done a lot of great work in putting everything together, and knowing that there's these templates already set up for these children
Right.
to go back in. And one of the things I want to thank you for being on the Interfaith Clergy
Sure.
Conference. We had a call and we asked you to speak
Right.
to us, and thank you for that, because one of the things you're reaching out to the faith groups, the leaders as well,
Right.
to seeing what can we do to help. And I'm going to bring that to you right now.
Okay.
What is your help that you need from us so they can know
Right.
as they looking at this broadcast?
So we have shared a community partner survey, and in that we've asked for a couple things from businesses, community organizations, churches, just even individuals that are willing to contribute. Some of the things that we've asked for are just Wi-Fi access. You mentioned Greenville Housing Authority has extended their access for their families. Hopefully maybe other housing authority areas could do the same. But also just a simple thing as if a church or a business in the evening hours would open their parking lot and leave their Wi-Fi on and share how families could connect. again, Miss Dibble from Parents for Public Schools, she went to ECU. ECU opened up their parking lots in the
Wow.
spring. And her kids would go outside. We had great weather and participate in their online learning there. So just if people would want to share where we could access Wi-Fi so families could drive in and do that. We are working, again, with Suddenlink and other providers to look at extending. We're trying to get mobile connections in some of the areas like Stokes and Grifton. And so we're doing that. And hotspots, we've had some hotspots donated. So families will be able to ask for those. And then employers were asking that, if possible, could you be flexible with parents? Because again, our children are only going to be going either A week or B week. And so on that week that they're home, parents may need some flexibility if childcare is difficult. If your employer can allow that, maybe they could allow families flexible scheduling, working from home. That would be great. And then the last thing that probably is a big ask, but we are asking if any organizations could help provide childcare. Childcare at cost, childcare at reduced cost, or even better, childcare for free. And one of the things that we spoke about last week was that if we call it childcare, there's a whole set of guidelines under North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. And we just received some word today that those guidelines are going to be relaxed so that it makes it easier on any churches or organizations that do want to partner with us. And we will be getting that information out. I believe, actually, it was shared with me from Greenville Parks and Rec just yesterday, and then our public information officer did receive more information about those guidelines. So again, what we would ask that the churches do is if they have space in the fellowship hall or a Sunday school, and they had volunteers that could come in and staff that, could children attend there during their remote learning weeks? Or if they're complete virtual learners, again, I don't know if any parents would want to then access that. Have adult supervision. You wouldn't be expected to teach, but just provide a space where kids, again, could bring those Chromebooks or iPads that we are providing them this year and access your internet, have some adult supervision. We can work with you about meals, getting nutrition. I believe we'll be able to partner with our school nutrition to get meals to students, but just have a place for them to go and maybe some activities for them. Again, hopefully following similar guidelines to what we're following to keep kids safe.
And then what you're asking, I think, as the churches as well as business owners, as you're listening to this broadcast, is they're asking for help. And where I truly believe is that we are part of the community. The word unity falls on the word of the community. And I always like to bring in the scripture. It always remind me of, in Luke chapter 10, he talked about how to have eternal life, and won't go through the whole story, but I want to get to the key of it. Was there was a Levite and a high priest that seen an issue, seen that man who was beaten and left halfway dead, and they walked on the other side. But it was that Samaritan that came in and had banded them and had compassion. I think that we could say, well, listen, I don't have any children, or my children grown, or, this is still a community issue. It doesn't matter if there's a tornado which hit in Bertie County, it's still our problem because we are part of the community, But this is Pitt County. As we are looking at Pitt County, is the schools asking business to work with your employees because flexible hours. But the key that we were looking to get the churches, and we will not call it daycare, even though it's a restriction of some words. So we got to watch our word, how we say things. That's why you get caught up in court. You said the wrong thing, and they said, what do you mean by that? But why did you say that? So on words, they will give us the line. It's not a daycare, but how can the churches, like, let's say, hey, on the week that they're not in school that week, could we have them come and use the Wi-Fi and have volunteers, and if there's things that you need, I'm quite sure Ms. Harrison and everyone else can help you with probably getting some masses or whatever. We need to work with our children, or say, hey, I don't want to come. Well, our church decided, well, we don't want y'all coming into the facility right now. Okay, that's the law. Y'all have inside your church. But you said, well, we could provide Wi-Fi. But then also there's another area that we're going to talk about. You may be able to help with some finance area there. This is a community thing. These is our children. And this is our children. I admit on air that I don't know the work that they're doing. I mean, my wife and I check in, and we got to learn it. And, a child needs to be in school, but the county needs our help. And I truly believe that we're here to serve. Service is the rent you pay for the space you take up on earth. So reaching out to churches, reaching out to business owners, reaching out to those that say, I don't have a business, I can help. What are we doing to make a difference? This pandemic's going to be over, but I truly believe when storms happen in our life, there's two things God is doing. Number one, he wants to see where you at with him. Where you at with God? And the second thing, he have us examine ourselves. We all going through a self-examination, who we really are as Christians, believing in God and things we need to do. It's all about helping and serving the community. I won't be saying this if I'm not a person that stands out and say, what do we need to do to help our community? I believe that we need to help our community. It's in my heart to help our community. And it doesn't matter who you are. It's all about coming together. So there's some other things that we need, and we're going to talk about that a little bit because we're running out of time. Time flies when you're having fun. But I want to talk about some other things that we need. Like we talk about if a person may need help with finance for internet. Could you explain how we can get with that?
Yes. So we are working. I believe Altice Suddenlink will still continue to offer a reduced rate for families for internet. We're looking with our CPA and our financial advisors to see if there's a way that parents could or individuals could sponsor a family to get that $15 a month internet service. We also, because we are giving out the iPads and the Chromebooks, there will be a $25 technology fee. We're encouraging parents and families to take advantage of that fee. That will kind of provide insurance. If you would break the Chromebook, not, by mistake, then that would cover it. That would help us cover like an insurance. But some families, I have 3 kids, that's $75. So, for some families that might be a hardship. They can pay it in $5 increments for 5 months. But so we could have families sponsor somebody's technology fee, again, or individuals, organizations, churches. We're going to run that through our Pitt County Education Foundation. We actually have a new person that just started that job last Monday. Her name's Beth Alfers. And so we are trying to get some online with that. But again, you can contact the school system and we can show you how to donate funds to provide that. We'll again relying on our great and fabulous school social workers to help identify families. Families can reach out to them or to their schools, to their principal, to their teacher to say, I need help with the internet. So again, sponsoring families for that would be a great help if people wanted to just contribute an extra $25. If you're paying your child's $25 fee, pay an extra $25 also to the school. You could do it that way.
So, and that's where you made a key point. Some people have 5 children in their house. I know one who has 5 children. I didn't think about the mathematics. Like, whoa.
Yeah, $125.
Yeah, and which they don't have.
Right.
And so churches can help with that. And thank you for introducing me to your new person. We had a good conversation last week.
Great.
But yeah, we know that there's a platform where people could send their money. And as we, and for those that listen to this broadcast, because we are dealing with so much with this pandemic, dealing with voting registration, how we get people to vote, and so much. So we have to change the system. And we do know that one thing that been working before the internet came out, been here for a very long time, and everybody knows, everyone has one where they live at. It's called a post box. Mail been running. Other day, me and my wife was coming in, and the mailman opened his truck, and I saw all those boxes of mail. I said, "Oh my goodness!"
That's right.
We can still go to the old format. You write a check.
That's right.
And who do we write the check out to? And where do we send the check now? Every little bit helps.
So you can write a check to the Pitt County Education Foundation. and you can mail it to us at 1717 West 5th Street, Greenville, 27834. And so that's, again, checks work. You can just do that. You can also, again, send it directly to your school and say, I'd like to pay my child's technology fee and someone else that needs it.
Yeah, and I think that the churches can help with that. I believe we have a lot of great churches in this community. I have to admit this.
We
is
do.
That,
We do.
This is a giving community. I'm not saying this because I don't know, even with Toys for Tots and everything I need help with, they come in, you have some of the churches, and I want to start calling out churches. Well, you
Right,
didn't
we
call
might
mine
forget
out.
one,
Yeah.
that's right.
But there's a lot of the churches in this community. Some of them they already doing that. There's some of that call
They do
line.
Backpack Pals.
Yes.
They've helped us with food throughout this. They help us with clothing. I mean, again, financial support for our social workers to use when families need something. So they've been great. And the other thought I had is there may be somebody out there that can help in a way that neither one of us have even thought of. And we're open to that too. If you have a resource, share it with us. We'll be glad to entertain that. We'd be glad to partner.
And since you mentioned that, something that I'm going to throw at you, this is a
Okay.
curveball. Have we ever thought about bringing on I know you have the Pitt, then you have your meetup, but like a community, little committee that we could throw our ideas at, and not saying they're going to go anywhere.
All right, well.
I mean, it's a we could talk.
We can talk about that. I'm meeting with Miss Offers and Miss Dibble today, and they are probably going to think of some things, so.
Yeah, because you just never know when people may
Right.
have the ideas, and not that you're going anywhere.
Right.
Sometimes that's like,
That's right.
Yeah, I
Like
think
you
it's
said,
that.
it's community, unity. Let's
Yeah.
work together because, none of us have done this before. Not one principal, not our superintendent, certainly not myself. None of the teachers have ever opened school in a pandemic before. None of us.
It's all new to us.
So there's going to be some bumps. But there is some great work already being done, and I just know it's going to continue. So just give us grace. We'll give parents grace. Sometimes the kid might not have gotten on by 11:59. We're going to give you grace, but we need to show that you're working. So it's going to be a give and take this year. It's going to be new. We're going to have to alter our ways of thinking and doing things, and we're going to be open to that. But we just need support of families to do that, and the community, like you said. All of our partners, whether you have kids in school anymore or not, you can help the school system.
And I have to say, you put a great system in place. I mean, listen, you can't say, your mommy, you can't
Right.
say you don't know.
Right.
I sent you the email, I mailed it to you, I did the survey, I called, I got the
called,
call
it's on
last
social
night.
media.
And
That's
if you
right.
don't pick up your phone, guess what? Your call was on my phone this morning.
Right.
Voicemail, hi, this is Ms. Cam. I mean, but you just can't. And I thank God for people in leadership like you and your superior, Dr.
Right.
Lindsay. I have all the staff, your social workers, because it's a teamwork.
It is.
And we all need to be able to help with children. There's some folks, some moms don't have the father with them, and they
Right.
having babysitting service. They have problems before the children was going
Right.
to school. And so we have to, I think it's that time to stand up, to stand out, and what can we do to help? If you can open your church door or open your center for a couple hours a day, because you're not asking them to have it for 8 hours, you're like a
Right.
couple hours. They're
Right.
missing the point. We didn't ask you to be a school. We didn't say that.
No.
We just say they do it on this time. It can only be a block of 4 hours.
Right.
To help them.
Right.
So, and y'all put everything out there. I thank you for all the hard work you did. I mean, while people was probably trying to go to the pool and relax and barbecue, y'all was still working.
Yeah, we
Y'all
have
was
not done that. There's not been much relaxation for those of us this summer. And again, even teachers who were off in the summer, many of them have already been working on online classes, increasing their digital skills, preparing all summer long. So there's a lot of preparation. Again, give us grace if things don't, the first day of school, there's always
Don't beat us
somebody
up.
misses somebody. But we're going to correct it. Let us know. We're going to correct it. We're going to work together.
Well, Ms. Karen, I thank you so much for being on this broadcast. As we close out, as you have heard it, if you want to make a donation, please send your check to 1717 West 5th Street, which is Greenville, North Carolina, 27834, and you make it out to the Pitt County Education Foundation. And I guess on the memo line to help out with the pandemics of the children. We need church, we need business, we need your help. We're coming here. We cannot do it by ourselves, and you have heard this quote many times. A man is not an island by itself. We all part of the continent. And what are we doing to make a difference? Again, I thank you for listening to this broadcast. We are coming to you today and every day. What are we going to do to make a difference in others' life? It's never about you. God bless, and thank you for watching this broadcast.